Hello there. Today I'm going to talk about the hypothetical crossover between Battlestar Galactica and Stargate SG-1, Cylon versus Goa'uld. Who would win a fight between Battlestar and Goa'uld Mothership? Are Jaffa better fighters than Cylon Centurions? And who is a better spy, humanoid Cylon or a freaking space worm? Let's find out. In history, wars often begin over resources, territory, or survival. But when two civilizations clash with radically different belief systems, especially ones rooted in godhood and faith, the outcome is inevitable. In a crossover scenario between Stargate SG-1 and Battlestar Galactica, the Goa'uld and the Cylons would not just view each other as enemies. They would see each other as blasphemies. Mutual hatred, rooted in religious conviction and existential offense, would drive them to conflict more fiercely than any strategic calculation. For the Goa'uld, the Cylons represent disobedience and dangerous ideas that could spread among their enslaved populations. To a Cylon, worshipping a Goa'uld would be heresy. A being claiming godhood is not just arrogant, it is a blasphemous insult to their creator. The very existence of the Goa'uld would be intolerable to Cylon ideology. At first glance, the Goa'uld possess the superior technology. Attack-class motherships are equipped with powerful plasma-based energy weapons, capable of devastating planetary surfaces and destroying large ships. Their most significant advantage lies in their energy shields, which can deflect or absorb both kinetic and energy-based attacks, including nuclear blasts in some cases. In addition, Goa'uld vessels use hyperspace technology, allowing long-range, high-speed travel between star systems. Cylon-based stars, by contrast, rely on missiles and kinetic weaponry. Their most dangerous assets are nuclear warheads, launched in devastating salvos that overwhelmed colonial defenses during the fall of the 12 colonies. However, base stars lack shields and rely on heavy armor and fighter screens for protection. Their FTL jump system is tactical in nature, extremely fast and useful for battlefield repositioning, but not built for long-range travel like Goa'uld hyperspace drives. When it comes to fighter craft, the Cylons hold the edge. Their raiders are fast, agile, and intelligent, capable of coordinating autonomously or via central AI. Death gliders, used by the Goa'uld, are piloted by Jaffa and fire energy weapons, but are generally less maneuverable and produced in smaller numbers. The Goa'uld approach warfare with arrogance and ritualism. Battles are often fought according to ancient customs, with rigid hierarchies and an over-reliance on perceived divine authority. While Goa'uld ships are powerful, their leaders often underestimate opponents and make tactical errors rooted in ego and overconfidence. Furthermore, their centralized command structure makes them vulnerable. Kill the Goa'uld, and the ship may be thrown into chaos. Cylons, in contrast, embrace decentralized AI coordination. Their combat doctrine is pragmatic, efficient, and lacks emotional interference. They swarm enemies with hundreds of raiders, suppress targets with constant missile barrages, and conduct coordinated strikes across multiple fronts. They adapt rapidly, retreat if necessary, and return stronger. The lack of a single weak point in command means Battlestar crews cannot be easily beheaded like Goa'uld fleets. In a single ship-to-ship engagement, the Goa'uld would likely emerge victorious. Their shields can withstand initial missile fire, and their plasma weaponry could cut through the unshielded Battlestar hull with a few well-placed shots. The Goa'uld's ability to jump in and out of hyperspace also gives them an escape mechanism unavailable to Cylons in interstellar combat. However, in a full-scale war, the advantage shifts. Cylon fleets vastly outnumber those of the Goa'uld, and their manufacturing capabilities allow them to rebuild losses quickly. Raider swarms would wear down Goa'uld shields over time, and mass nuclear strikes could eventually breach even the most advanced defenses. The Goa'uld, with their stagnant and egocentric command structure, would struggle to adapt to the AI-driven, evolution-based Cylon war machine. Over time, Goa'uld overconfidence and technological complacency would be their undoing. The Goa'uld possess highly advanced technology, shielded Hatak motherships, energy weapons, sarcophagi, and Stargate networks, but they did not invent most of it. Much of it was stolen from the ancients, or reverse-engineered from older civilizations. More importantly, the Goa'uld are culturally stagnant. They rarely innovate, instead relying on the illusion of divinity and brute force to maintain their rule. Their computers are powerful, but are not designed with network security or adaptive threats in mind. This makes their systems incredibly vulnerable to an enemy like the Cylons, who excel at exploiting software flaws, disrupting systems wirelessly, and integrating into enemy infrastructure undetected. The Cylons begin their war against humanity not by attacking colonies with nukes, but by shutting down their entire defense network. Through a single backdoor in the Colonial Command Navigation Program, they disable every Battlestar and defense satellite in seconds. The result is the near-instant annihilation of 12 worlds, a genocide executed not with bullets, but with code. This is the essence of Cylon strategy. Weaponizing information systems to destroy from within. Their knowledge of artificial intelligence, communication protocols, and remote access tools is vastly superior to anything the Goa'uld possess. Imagine a humanoid Cylon posing as a captured slave or minor system technician. Given even brief access to a control crystal, they upload a virus into the ship's command system. The virus spreads silently through the ship's crystalline matrix, undetected by Goa'uld sensors, which are designed to monitor biological threats, not digital anomalies. Within hours, the virus disables internal sensors, scrambles ring transporter destinations, causes shields to flicker unpredictably, turns the ship's main cannon against its own escorts, locks the system lord out of command. The crew is trapped, disoriented, and unable to retaliate. A single virus disables an entire flagship without a shot being fired. Now imagine this happening on 10 ships simultaneously. Goa'uld society is structured around domination, not adaptation. Each system lord believes they are invincible. Their arrogance would prevent them from recognizing the digital threat until it is far too late. Even if a few Goa'uld scientists recognize the Cylon danger, their warnings would be dismissed as cowardice or treason. By the time the threat is acknowledged, Cylon code would already be embedded in their fleets, transport systems, and palaces. Once inside, Cylons would not need to stay on board. Their malware could function autonomously. They could disable planetary shields, open prison gates, redirect ring transporters to space, and crash ships into suns, all from a safe distance. They might never even show their faces. For an empire built on fear and control, this invisible warfare would be terrifying and demoralizing. The fight between the Jaffa and the Centurions would be a fascinating clash of ancient warrior tradition against cold, mechanical efficiency. The Jaffa are elite human warriors genetically altered to serve as incubators for larval Goa'uld symbiotes. This biological bond grants them superior strength, faster healing, and extended lifespan. Trained from a young age in the arts of war, Jaffa are disciplined, fearless, and fiercely loyal to their Goa'uld system lord. Their combat is steeped in ritual and honor. They typically wield staff weapons, which fire energy blasts capable of killing unarmored humans with a single shot, but suffer from low rates of fire and moderate accuracy. Some also carry Zat guns, which can paralyze or kill. They also wear some armor, but it doesn't seem to be very effective against energy blasts and bullets. Cylon Centurions are fully robotic soldiers designed for shock combat and urban warfare. They possess exceptional strength, machine reflexes, and onboard targeting systems. Centurions wield dual-barrel automatic rifles built into their arms, capable of sustained fire with high accuracy. They never tire, never feel fear, and never hesitate. Their sleek silver bodies are armored to resist most ballistic small arms, and they continue fighting until their core systems are destroyed. While they lack complex tactical thinking on their own, they often operate in coordinated squads with precise movement and suppression tactics. In ranged combat, Centurions have the clear advantage. Their arm-mounted rifles provide a much faster rate of fire than the Jaffa staff weapon, which, while powerful, is slow, imprecise, and exposes the shooter during charging. In an open engagement, a Centurion can lay down suppressive fire while advancing. Jaffa caught in the open would be quickly outgunned unless they use terrain, ambush tactics, or outnumber the enemy. In melee combat, the advantage is more balanced. Jaffa are highly trained in hand-to-hand combat and wield melee weapons like staff weapon poles or blades with great proficiency. However, Centurions have mechanical strength and durability that could overpower even the strongest Jaffa. Still, elite Jaffa, such as Teal'c, have demonstrated the ability to take down stronger foes through skill and leverage. Jaffa, especially those loyal to Goa'uld, may fight with religious belief but are still human. They feel pain, fear, and fatigue. If their commander is killed, or a battle turns hopeless, they may retreat. In contrast, Centurions are completely fearless and will continue fighting until they are physically destroyed. This relentless approach can have a powerful psychological effect on human enemies, even ones as disciplined as Jaffa. Cylon Centurions, while not independently brilliant tacticians, are part of a larger networked command structure and can adapt to battlefield conditions. Jaffa, depending on their leadership, can be rigid and ceremonial. In battles led by intelligent Jaffa commanders like Bratak, they might gain an edge through ambushes, terrain use, and unconventional tactics. But in the end, Centurion wins. Its superior firepower, armor, and resistance to pain give it the edge in most face-offs. Jaffa might win a battle, but Centurions win the war. In science fiction, true power often lies not in brute strength or technological dominance, but in the ability to manipulate, deceive, and destroy from within. Goa'uld infiltrates societies by physically inhabiting a host and taking full control of their body, including memories and motor functions. The symbiote hides in the host's spinal cavity, controlling them neurologically. While the host remains conscious, they are powerless unless the symbiote allows it. However, Goa'uld are arrogant, often unable to fully suppress their narcissism, resulting in overconfidence. Their theatrical speech patterns can eventually arouse suspicion. Their infiltration is most effective when they impersonate leaders, infiltrating from the top down and altering policy or structure over time. Humanoid Cylons are engineered to be indistinguishable from humans. They are not mere actors, but true sleepers agents. Some genuinely believe themselves to be human until activated. Cylons excel at infiltrating from the bottom up. They work as engineers, officers, or civilians, quietly sabotaging systems or manipulating key individuals over months or years. Unlike the Goa'uld, they can function within groups, cooperate, and form complex emotional ties as part of their deception. In theory, Goa'uld symbiotes could possess any humanoid, including a Cylon, as long as the biological structure is compatible. Physically, humanoid Cylons are indistinguishable from humans, and thus would be viable hosts. However, several complications arise. Cylon consciousness is software and hardware-based. The Goa'uld would control the biological systems, but might not access the underlying programming. The Cylon may have backup protocols or remote kill switches, rendering the host unstable or compromised once possessed. Moreover, once the Cylon dies, it might resurrect in a new body without the Goa'uld symbiote. In short, a Goa'uld could temporarily hijack a humanoid Cylon body, but not the digital mind or the resurrection process. This makes such infiltration limited and risky. Humanoid Cylons would thrive in Goa'uld-controlled societies. They could pose as loyal Jaffa, slaves, or even low-ranking Goa'uld. Since the Goa'uld rely heavily on hierarchy and obedience, Cylons could work within the system for years unnoticed. Moreover, the Goa'uld have a cultural blind spot. They assume superiority and rarely question obedience. A Cylon with a mission to sabotage Ha'tak engines, poison symbiote supplies, or assassinate system lords could do immense damage, especially if they infiltrated the Free Jaffa or Tok'ra. Their greatest asset is emotional mimicry. Cylons can convincingly appear loyal, passionate, even spiritual. Goa'uld symbiotes might not detect the deception unless they personally interrogate or possess the Cylon, which is unlikely for lower-ranking personnel. While both the Goa'ulds and the humanoid Cylons are formidable infiltrators, the Cylons are the more effective force in terms of long-term subversion, subtle manipulation, and structural sabotage. Their emotional mimicry, human appearance, and psychological realism make them nearly undetectable, even to advanced societies. Goa'uld infiltration is faster and more dramatic, but also more prone to failure due to behavioral giveaways and overconfidence. While a Goa'uld can impersonate a king overnight, a Cylon can quietly destroy an empire from the shadows over months or years. In a war of shadows, the Goa'uld might strike first, but the Cylons would strike last and hardest. So that's it. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.